Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers in Cambodia visit needy families in Phnom Penh. Tzu Chi Indonesia Chapter held a charity sale to raise funds for the construction of a Tzu Chi Hospital. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. During the two-day rice distribution in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, Tzu Chi volunteers came across several families who are living on the brink of poverty and struggling to put food on the table. Following the distribution, Tzu Chi volunteers paid these families a visit to get a better idea of their situation, so to provide them with necessary assistance they need.
The water is so murky that one cannot even see the bottom. However, all along this waterway, one can find water spinach everywhere. This is the main source of income for residents of Preak Takon here in Phnom Penh, who make around $5 a day.
The water is dirty and causes skin allergies, but they don't have a choice. This is what they have to do in order to sustain themselves.
Hong Sapal's family, like many others in Preak Takon, lives on the brink of poverty. Sapal is unable to work because she suffers from diabetes, and her husband had just recently undergone a liver surgery. The family doesn't know where their next meal will come from.
When we run out of money, my mother will beg for money in front of our house. On some days, we get less than $1. It is really, really tough on us.
Following the two-day rice distribution, volunteers came across several families who are in need of long-term care and assistance. Hence, Tzu Chi volunteers decided to take Sapal's family under their wings.
We are truly grateful for the assistance Tzu Chi has given us over the past few months. We don't have to worry about when our next meal will be. We now have food on the table, thanks to the rice you have provided us.
Volunteers next arrived at a village neighboring a landfill where most residents scavenge for a living. With the meager income they make collecting scrap, residents still have to set aside $10 a month for rent. To ensure residents don't have to go hungry, Tzu Chi volunteers brought each family a 20-kilogram bag of rice.
Whenever they had money, they will purchase rice, usually 1 kilogram at a time. If they don't have money, they don't eat.
Reaching out to these forgotten corners of society, Tzu Chi volunteers' love have given poor families hope and helped them find a way out of poverty.
Since September of this year, Tzu Chi volunteers in Vienna, Austria have been offering hot meals twice a week to refugees taking shelter in the city. As local volunteers don't have access to a large and fully equipped kitchen, they decided to borrow it from the local Yiguandao temple. In our next report, we find out how local volunteers reach out to refugees. Twice a week, Tzu Chi volunteers in Vienna, Austria mobilize early in the morning to prepare hot meals for refugees taking shelter in a temporary refugee camp. Next, the volunteers deliver this delicious vegetarian food to the refugee camp. Tzu Chi volunteers prepare curry, fries, deep-fried vegetables, and cheese salad because they want to give these refugees food that tastes just like the ones back home.
I think that this is much, much better than the food from the army, because the food from the army is like, I don't know, it's not the best food in the world, but I know that your kitchen is much, much better. I love your kitchen. I love your kitchen.
Whether it was cooking inside the kitchen or helping out at the refugee camp, everyone was so happy to be a part of this meaningful cause. No one felt tired.
Initially, 80 refugees live at a warehouse provided by a kind man. However, as the temperature in Vienna has started to drop to 0 at night, the local government decided to transfer these refugees to an unused classroom. Despite having a place to take shelter from, these refugees still don't have access to a proper living environment. In the days to come, local Tzu Chi volunteers promise to continue offering hot meals to the refugees and to visit other shelters to see what else they can do to help. As winter is quickly approaching in Japan, Tzu Chi volunteers in Tokyo continue to provide some warmth to the homeless. As the volunteers have routinely visited the homeless around the Shinjuku station, they have formed a trusting friendship with these people. In helping the homeless become useful members of society once more, volunteers recently invited them to help with the park cleanup event.
In Tokyo, Japan, temperatures at night have recently dropped to below 10 degrees Celsius, and a group of angels clad in blue and white have descended the city to bring some warmth to the homeless. With warm red bean soup, onigiri, and eco-friendly blankets, Tzu Chi volunteers deliver their signature loving care to the homeless near the Shinjuku station. Some of these homeless have come to see the volunteers as close friends, and thus treasure each little gift the volunteers give them.
I can't believe you still kept the Jinsei aphorism card we gave you last time. Thank you for treasuring it.
Touched by the volunteers' care, the homeless are now taking a step forward to give back. This event has been 6 months in the making as volunteers invited the homeless to don volunteers' vests and participate in a street cleaning at a nearby park.
Since this was the first time I volunteered to help clean up the streets, I thought things would be difficult. However, everything went very smoothly. We cleaned up here for 30 minutes, and another place for 30 minutes. So in total, we worked for 1 hour.
In the beginning, I felt that the homeless and I are from two different worlds. However, when I saw the volunteers interacting with them, I was very moved. The volunteers knelt down when they talked to them, listened to what they had to say, and treated them like a normal person.
At the end of the event, everyone gathered to have a picnic in the park to enjoy such a meaningful day. In the coming days, volunteers will continue to provide some sort of familial warmth and help the homeless renew their own sense of self and value.
In mid-October, Typhoon Kopu caused widespread devastation across Cabanatuan City, virtually bringing the region to a standstill. With the disaster relief experience of Typhoon Kasana and Haiyan behind them, volunteers from Tzu Chi Foundation were quick to respond with action and rolled out a cash forward program.
Weeks after Typhoon Kopu made landfall in the Philippines, Cabanatuan City has yet to make a full recovery from the disaster. Farmers who have suffered severe losses are still trying to get their lives back on track. While some residents are slowly trying to pick up the pieces, considerable progress has already been made at San Josef Elementary School. To help students resume classes in the shortest time possible, Tzu Chi volunteers have rolled out a cash for work program to speed up the cleaning process. Today, classes are back in session at San Josef Elementary, and Tzu Chi volunteers are also here to give compensation to cash for work participants. The principal of the school was also present to lend the volunteers a hand.
You are already helping others. Not only have you become givers in the process, you have also cleaned up your own homes. I'm extremely happy because Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program has put an end to a problem which has troubled us for so long. This is the first time we have had an organization reach out to us. You volunteers have devoted so much of your time and energy to helping us. Our faculty and students are all very grateful.
With everyone doing what they can to help their community back on its feet, love and compassion has once again brought out the beauty of humanity during times of crisis.
Recently, Tzu Chi Indonesia Chapter held a charity sale to raise funds for the construction of a Tzu Chi Hospital in Indonesia. Tzu Chi volunteers said that what's really important is not how much money they raise, but to get everyone a chance to make a contribution to the construction of the hospital and sow the seeds of blessing.
The sound of the gong signifies that the charity sale held by Tzu Chi Indonesia has officially started.
Today is Tzu Chi Indonesia's 2015 charity sale. This is also our second fundraiser for the construction of Tzu Chi Hospital in Indonesia.
All the funds we raised will be used for the construction of the hospital. The point is not how much money we raise, but the number of people participating in the event. Our goal is to attract 15,000 people to our charity sale. Our focus is to inspire compassion in them.
There are 200 stalls in this charity event, which feature anything from food and novelties to Chinese calligraphy, furniture, and even motorbikes.
I bought noodles, eggs, sugar, remote control cars, and ceramic cups.
DaAi TV Indonesia is also taking part in the charity sale.
DaAi TV Indonesia is also taking part in this charity sale. We have a few stalls which sell Chinese calligraphy, Tzu Chi's aroma mist diffusers, and donated antiques.
While local Tzu Chis are selling various kinds of homemade desserts.
We want to do our parts for Tzu Chi. We bought the materials and made those desserts by ourselves. We all had a good time doing this.
The fundraiser is met with generous responses as crowds flock to the event.
The Momo Service of Dr. Juan Meza, one of TIMA members from Paraguay, was held in Hualien on November 5th. Dr. Meza passed away at the age of 58. On his Momo Service, his wife and children gathered together to accompany him on his final journey. Let's honor this incredible man who was committed to loving others even to the end. Attendees of Dr. Meza's memorial service reviewed his photos and mourned his passing.
He once said that at the end of his life, if he could return to Hualien and donate his organs, he would be very satisfied.
Having served as a Tzu Chi medical volunteer for more than a decade, Dr. Meza also led his children to take part in TIMA-free clinics. He had always guided them with love and lived out the spirit of selfless love.
Our father's image of abundant youthful energy has imprinted deeply in our minds. I want to thank my father for teaching us that the greatest happiness in life is harboring love in our hearts, to love one's family and friends, and to gain happiness through serving others.
You have given us love and care and have told us that family and the bond we share is the most important in our life. Be it among siblings or with other family members, we have to love and care for one another.
Presenting flowers full of their well wishes, obeyed a final farewell to Dr. Meza, who served the needy and cared for the poor. Back at Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital, Dr. Meza's older son posted his father's name on the memorial wall for organ donors to show everyone's gratitude to Dr. Meza.
I'm very honored to have this opportunity for expressing my gratitude to your father. He donated his cornea to help those in need in Taiwan.
Dr. Meza had long suffered from diabetes and the need for dialysis, so his family can empathize with those waiting for an organ transplant. After his passing, his family donated his cornea as he wished.
I'm happy to see how loving my father was to be able to donate his cornea to benefit others. In Paraguay, he had been waiting for a kidney transplant, but no one wanted to donate a kidney to him. The mentality is so different here.
Through donating his cornea, Dr. Meza lived his life to the fullest, leaving a legacy of love in Taiwan.
In Taiwan, there are not many cases of cornea donations compared to other types of organ donations. So, through a donation made by a foreigner, it may help inspire people in Taiwan.
Flying all the way back to Taiwan, Dr. Meza has returned to his spiritual home. Though he is now gone, he has brought value to his life by giving wholeheartedly with love. Chen Junlao founded the Kids Book House to provide disadvantaged children of Taitung County with after-school tutoring and even dinner 16 years ago. Known as Papa Chen, he has established 8 locations across the country and is forced to run abandoned barns or warehouses due to limited funding. It would seem charter schools should be able to better serve him and his cause well. We find out why that is not a viable option for him.
We have always had a problem with funding, so we can only afford to find abandoned places to rent. This area used to be a pig barn, and pig's waste was washed down to that pond to raise fish. After we rented this place, we repaved the road and did some repairs. We installed these wooden doors. You will know once you are inside.
It is hard to tell that this was an abandoned barn after the renovation. Once inside, one sees a large and open office space.
When we first came in, there were 6 pig pens in here. They are gone now.
The well-lit and repainted office is far from being related to a pigsty.
The passage was always here, so we preserved it. One of the pig pens was right here. We divided it into 2 separate areas. One is used as bathrooms, while the other is a classroom.
Take a corner and one arrives at the heart of the bookhouse.
This is our central kitchen. All dinners served at our 8 locations are all made here. We will deliver them after the cooking is done.
Kids Bookhouse has 8 locations plus an administrative office in Taidong County. Every year, some 300 disadvantaged children go to a location near them for after-school tutoring. So why does the Bookhouse rent abandoned barns or warehouses instead of shuttered schools?
Say we decided to lease an abandoned school. If I spend $30,000 on renovation, I would surely like the lease to be at least 5 to 6 years. But a rental contract with government agencies only lasts a year. So where are my guarantees?
Even if it's a 10-year contract, such option is still not viable.
The areas where we operate out of have no shuttered schools. Yes, there might be one in the mountains or somewhere far away, which will be inconvenient to our children.
Only by providing these children with constant attention can the quality of education be ensured, and the Bookhouse will soon have a new building too. This brick house that is nearing completion is being built by the big kids of the Bookhouse.
They are currently working on the exterior walls of the building. They are using an old technique to waterproof the walls. It doesn't use any chemicals and can last 7 to 8 years.
Using eco-friendly materials, the crew wants to give their siblings and children from their tribes a safe environment to study in. Most of the crew either dropped out of school or had a troubled past, but now they are committed to working here.
We're building the Qinling Book House. In the future, many children can come study here. There's a slide inside for them to enjoy as well. This will be like their second home.
Some of their siblings are being cared for by us. The meal service that we provide help these children a great deal. So that's why these big kids have placed their faith in us and in Papa Chen.
To these big kids, building their siblings a place to study is but the first step towards their dreams.
If every one of these children are your own, wouldn't you want them to be able to go to school easily, instead of traveling 10 or 20 kilometers? Would you still close down these schools?
Even so, many schools across Taiwan continue to close down. Papa Chen said he will keep the kids' bookhouse in operation no matter what.
Though our buildings are dilapidated and leak, what are important are the people inside. We should be focusing our efforts on keeping these children company.
Next, we meet Tokyo University student Zheng Huifen and her family, Lin Xiurong. As Zheng suffers from cerebral palsy and other forms of disability, she was once paralyzed and could hardly speak. To ensure her daughter can one day be independent, Lin Xiurong quit her job to help Huifen with her rehabilitation. Furthermore, Lin even accompanied Huifen to school for more than 25 years to help her strive for higher education. Walking with her friend by her side is fourth-year student of the Department of Earlier Childhood Education of Tokyo University, Zheng Huifen, who suffers from severe cerebral palsy and other types of disability. Sitting beside Zheng Huifen in class is her mother, Lin Xiurong, who has been studying alongside Huifen for the past 27 years.
I want to help my daughter with her rehabilitation, so I studied upon massage therapy and folk medicine.
When Huifen was 2 years old, Lin discovered that her daughter suffered from cerebral palsy. Instead of giving up on her daughter, Lin decided to be Zhen's pillar of support and to help her with rehabilitation. Now Zhen can not only talk but also write. Although unable to write neatly, Hui Fen still remains determined to do the best she can.
I don't want to give up on my daughter because she is a very obedient child. We have overcome many hardships together over the years.
Lin doesn't give Hui Fen the chance to use her disability as an excuse. For the past 3 years, Hui Fen has managed to get at least 80% on each course and has won a scholarship from the Ministry of Education. Thanks to the love of Ling Xiuren, Hui Fen has learned to thrive despite all odds. In the years to come, Ling will continue to be the biggest supporter of her daughter. Currently serving time at the Changhua prison, 39-year-old Ah Hao has been in and out of jail for the past 10 years for his drug addiction. Over the past 2 years, Tzu Chi volunteers from central Taiwan pay monthly visits to the Changhua prison to care for the inmates, and these continuous visits have become something Ah Hao looks forward to each month. As Ah Hao is set to be released in about a month's time, he says he hopes to join the volunteers to help serve others in need, just as the volunteers have done for him and his family.
For the past 2 years, Tzu Chi volunteers have made monthly visits to the Changhua prison to care for inmates. Among the events for the day is a sharing that volunteers hope will inspire change in the inmates.
It matters not what we were like in the past. What's important is the choices we make in this moment. The decision and choices we make now is what determines our future.
With continuous encouragement from the volunteers, the hearts of the inmates slowly melted.
Having the volunteers' love and care in our hearts, we are really moved.
39-year-old Ah Hao became addicted to drugs after his marriage had failed. In the past 10 years or so, he's been in and out of prison numerous times for his drug addiction, but it was also there that he found God.
I'm very willing to give of myself because Tzu Chi volunteers have helped me and my family a lot. I don't know how to repay them, so I can only give of myself.
Whenever he serves time in prison, Ah Hao is always worried about the well-being of his mother and 2 children back home in Zhanghua's Tianzhong. Thankfully, Tzu Chi volunteers have been helping to look after his family. Soon to be released from prison, Ah Hao is very confident about his future.
I definitely will come back, but not as an inmate. Next time, I'll be wearing dress shoes and standing in front, sharing my transformation.
We go to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia at the end of the show, where the Zhonghua Primary School in Klang encouraged its students and faculty to donate their hair to help make wigs for people who have lost their hairs as a result of cancer treatment. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.